Now we're going to set up the side clamp attachment for Ryonet Silverpress. Setting up this attachment does require some assembly. Because the attachment makes the screen arm fit 23 by 31 inch roller frames or static frames, we actually need to extend the arm a little bit. So we're going to show you how to take the current assembly off, whether you have micros attached like this press has or not, and then attach the new assembly along with the side clamps. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is take off our old arm. We're going to be replacing the whole arm, so we're going to remove the hardware from this arm to the new arm that we got with the Silverpress side clamp attachment. So to do that easily, we're going to take off the arm. To take off the arm, you first have to detach the shock. To do that, I'm using a sharp screwdriver, or you can use a piece of metal just to get underneath this spring right here and lift it up. Once you lift the spring up, the arm will just pop right off. Like that. Now that's off. Tuck it underneath here. Next, we'll actually take off the arm. So I'm going to use a 1/2 inch wrench, 2 1/2 inch wrenches back here to loosen these bolts. This will allow me to take off the arm. If you have access to a socket or a ratcheting wrench, that also works faster. I'll slide out the bolt, and that will slide off. Keep your washers and everything that you have used on the old arm assembly, because you're going to be transferring everything over to the new arm assembly. We'll be using 2 shocks instead of 1, so you do not need to detach this. Next, we will take off the stabilizer bar. For this, we'll be using a 7/16 wrench. Once again, if you have access to a ratcheting wrench or a socket, this might go a little faster. I'm using a ratcheting wrench right now. Once your old arm is off, we'll put our new square arm on. Now this arm attaches from the bottom. So we'll take the bolts, once again they're 7/16, and we'll thread them in manually right in through the top here. Thread them by finger as tight as they'll go, and then we'll take our wrench and finish tightening them up all the way. Now the new stabilizing bar is attached and secure, tightened down. We're going to transfer the rest of our stuff over from our arm. What you need to do now is take off the bracket adjustments from your old assembly. Now with this particular assembly, we have micro registration on it. So if we were going to transfer the micro registration over, we would actually leave it on the brackets and just take the clamp off. But we're going to show you what you would do if you just had a screen clamp. I'm going to take the micro, this whole clamp, let's picture this as just the screen clamp. I'm going to take it all off our brackets. So if this was just the screen clamp like you see here, we're just going to take it all off the bracket. The side clamp has side clamps obviously, so there's no need for the center screen clamp anymore. Then we'll take 1/2 inch wrenches. We'll take off the brackets from the old arm assembly. Might need to force these bolts through, but they should come out fairly easily. Once you've taken apart your arm, taken your brackets off your arm, taken off your clamp, you can save these for future use in case you want to convert your press back to a standard back clamp press, resell it if you're upgrading a Silverpress and want to convert your side clamps over for any reason. So save them, don't throw them away. Now let's attach the new arm. We've kept the brackets in the same position we took them off the old arm. There's a slot, a curved slot, half moon slot in the bracket. That goes at the top of the flat part of the screen arm. So keep that in the same position. Some of you may have the stabilizer right here, which fits right on the bottom, or right now you see the top, but if you flip the arm up the way it fits on the press, it's actually the bottom hole. This helps from the arm from squeezing in. So then we'll just attach these 2 bolts in. You're going to want to use your washers between your nuts and bolts. And right now I'm just going to finger tighten these so you have the capability to adjust it. I'll slide this one through, That's why we have it finger tightened, so we have the capability to move these brackets around. Once that's through, we'll put our washer on, and we'll slide our bolt on. I'll go ahead and leave these finger tight so I can adjust them later. Next step is to reassemble your arm. The washer goes between the press arm and the holding spot. So we're going to slide the washer in between there, like you see on the rest of the arms here, and then slide it through the center. Slide the second washer on. And then we'll put our nut on. Once our nut is on, this is swivel, so we can take our 1/2-inch wrench and tighten these down all the way. Now our new arm is on, and we'll slide on our shocks. So just take the shock, put it in basic position, and all you have to do to slide it on is once it's over the ball, just clamp it on, and it clamps on very quickly and easily. Now it's time to attach the side clamp assembly. The side clamp assembly has 3 parts: the back bar and your 2 side clamps. The back bar has a stabilizer and a spacer which goes between your off contact brackets and your back bar. Let's take our new attachment bolts. We're going to put a washer on the outside between each nut and bolt end, and then slide them through the spacer. Once this is on, we'll slide the spacer through the 2 brackets. Once again, we'll put our washers on, and then we'll put our nut on the end. The off contact with your side clamp adjustments works the same way. The off contact and tilt works the same way as it does with your standard back clamp. So your off contact is dictated by the slot, and then your tilt is dictated by those 2 knobs. You'll notice your shocks are a lot stronger, so you want to keep them in the down position. Once this is attached, all we have to do now is slide our side clamp attachments on, and take your plastic knobs and tighten them down. These will slide back and forth depending on what size of frame you're using. So once these are on, everything else pretty much works the same way as you would be used to working your standard back clamps, as far as your tilt adjustments, leveling your screen out, and everything else like that. The side clamps will help keep your screen even throughout the course of your off contact and are much more stable, especially if you're using roller frames. The only other thing that might come into play once you've installed your extra long side clamp arm and attachment is the length of your pallets. These are set up for your standard back clamps. So if you're finding, especially with larger and longer pallets, if your brackets don't slide on all the way to the arm, contact us because we have different bracket solutions we can swap you out so you can attach those longer, heavier duty brackets for your side clamp because your press pallet has to go out further since you've put a longer arm on. Most of the time this won't matter, but if it does, email us at support@ryonet.com or contact us via phone to get that solved for you. That concludes the setup and attachment of the Silverpress side clamp attachments.